Well, it's March, but for some of you, it's going to be more wintry than what winter actually featured. Chances of getting a foot of snow over the course of the rest of this month, pretty good across portions of Minnesota, back into the Dakotas, UP of Michigan, in towards the far interior northeast. So yeah, winter is certainly far from done as we get multiple big batches of energy in the atmosphere, lots of wind, at times, some big dipping troughs. It's typical. March is like a roller coaster. Here on your Snowplow News and Norcast weather video forecast, another big injection coming on into the country. This is a huge trough developing here. Push of warm air and then severe weather outbreak and then another snowstorm coming on through. And look at this huge ridge. My goodness, a very what we call amplified type pattern over the next couple weeks, and that's going to produce for the next 6 to 10 days a very wet pattern across a pretty good section of the country. So that's certainly going to be keeping things active. Let's show you what to expect over the course of the next few days. This frontal boundary moving on through. Get a little break of some sunshine ahead of this system that starts to form on Thursday and rides on through Minnesota, Wisconsin. That's going to be one out of about 3 storms into portions of this area. Then it moves on through Michigan, and this is going to be a corridor of moderate to even heavy type snow. Several inches expected as it pushes on in towards New England and starts to finally pull in more moisture on the southern side as forms of rain. Maybe a strong storm here and there, but a lot of rain. That's kind of the main ticket. Snow in towards far New England, then that system moves on out, and then right back behind it another one will start to form, and that's going to get its act together here, and that's going to produce probably the biggest of the few storms as we go late into the weekend and early next week, also sliding through a similar way, but it looks like it's going to get its act together earlier and spin up. So severe weather outbreak into the plains, into maybe Dixie Alley, and then blizzard conditions possible on that cold side, possibly in towards the upper Midwest or northern plains, but that's your severe weather right there. That moves on through after that, and then another system is developing for the middle portions and end of the following week. So yeah, very active, lot of different systems happening. So that's going to produce some significant snowfall even in towards portions of the mountains, the Rockies, as we go towards the next several days. And then yeah, the potential over the next week for a foot or two of snow is certainly there in towards Minnesota, in towards the Dakotas. Biggest storm of the year once it's officially spring, of course. Several inches across portions of Michigan and a few to several inches in spots across portions of the Northeast, but you got to go well into the Northeast for that. The risk once you get more in towards the big populated cities is certainly a lot less at this point. Rain is definitely going to be noticeable. Some of this does fall in terms of snowfall, but once you get south, of course, this is all rain, and there will be multiple inches of rain with these multiple different systems, and that's why we're going to see such above average amounts of total precipitation over the course of the next week or so. Where it's been pretty warm, well below average for a few days at least. Start to moderate next week a little bit across the Northeast with at least some pushes of warm air, because you get these low pressures to ride up like this, and that pulls the warm in from the east and keeps it pretty cold towards the northwest. One of the really cool things coming up in the next few weeks, solar eclipse. It's a totality through some populated areas here. San Antonio, not far away from Dallas, Indianapolis, through Cleveland, Niagara Falls, Buffalo, into the U.S.-Canadian border in New England. There's real weather impacts to this. It really feels like nightfall, but it's just over such a quick amount of time in the middle of the day. Temperatures drop. You got winds decreasing. Any kind of convection in the atmosphere goes down. Super cool.
This is your Norcast Weather Update.